So what was your conversation like, or did you have a conversation with, you know, your old high school friend? Because to me that brings up in a sense, a legal issue, but the fact that he, because this could be a whole nother show, because the fact that he took off the condom, you know, some people may or may not consider that rape, because you consented to a certain type of sex, and then he not only put your body, I mean, in danger. Yeah,
exactly. We didn't have like a formal conversation about it. Like, I told him and he kind of blew it off, and like he didn't take it seriously at all, and I was told him, like, you know, I'm very hurt by this, and like he was just very immature about the whole situation, and it was very hurtful. So like we didn't have an adult conversation. I feel like we should have, because he just blew it off. Like he wasn't the person that I really thought he was. So.
And so, because your blog that you wrote, obviously it doesn't name names, and you're not naming names here. Has this person reached out to you in any?
No, and the thing is, like, he for like years he would contact me on Facebook and like say things to me regularly, and I would ignore him because like I've been talking, because he obviously like will blow me off when I told him about the situation. But his family has been like in contact with me because like they were involved. They knew what kind of friendship we have, so they seem sympathetic, but he hasn't really reached out to me at all.
So how do you feel about, because I've never been in that situation or that position, but being violated is the first thing that comes to mind when you took the liberty to put me in that position.
Exactly. Like, I just was like, you know, why did you think it was okay? And I was just like, you know, you really took advantage of me, because like you know that I was already scared. Like when we talked about it before it happened, it wasn't just something that happened spur of the moment. It was a planned thing. So you know what I expected, and for you to just go and do what you wanted to do despite my expectations, it was very, you know, hurtful and like disrespectful to me.
And you don't have to answer this at all, but like, do you plan to like pursue like any type of in a sense legal do you plan to go after him like legally?
No, because it's been I think like 5 years now, so no, I'm just doing this to try to help people, just to be more cautious and just, you know, just be cautious pretty much, because you don't know what people's intentions are.
And as I'm listening to your story, the scary thing about it for me is the fact that he was a trusted friend. He was a trusted friend, and he put you in this situation. And I wonder how many other women, even men, are in this situation where you know, someone they trust takes advantage of that. So I don't say what advice would you have for someone, but I feel like there's a message even to men who do this, who think that it's okay to like, hey, I'm gonna take off the condom and do what I will with it. Because I also believe that there could potentially be some emotional like unrest, some spiritual unrest, and some things that you have to heal because of his actions. So is there something that you would like to say to
men? I would just like to say, for like, really really just think about like what you're doing, like how it affects the other person. Like I would like them to put themselves in the shoes of their mothers, the women that they love, their sisters, and think about how you would feel if that happened to them. Like, you wouldn't want to put them in any harm, hopefully not. So like, you know, just protect them like in the best way you know how. It's not about you. This is a mutual thing. You have to respect others. You have to respect others, and you know, I would just like for them to do that, because a lot of people have had this happen to them, and it's scary. So
this question in a sense may come out of left field, but would you consider that rape?
I don't know, because like I wouldn't say rape, because like we agreed to it, but I don't know. It's very, very borderline. It's very close to it, I feel like, because like that's on a whole nother scale. Like that's something that if we don't have a mutual understanding of that, it should never get to that point, no matter what, no matter what you sense or anything like that. So
and the only reason I asked that, because there was an article that I read, and I think it was I don't know if it was out of Britain, but someone was actually prosecuted.
Oh wow.
Yeah, for that. And obviously their laws are different than our laws, and I don't remember the details behind it, but basically the woman had consented to sex with a condom. And this isn't the first time that I heard the stories, and I read your blog, and for some reason I didn't remember that detail, but she had consented to sex with a condom, and the man took the condom off. I don't know if she got an STD or anything like that, but he was prosecuted.
Wow. And I feel like some people deserve that, because a lot of people don't heal from this. Like, it's like it took a long time for me to feel comfortable to even say this. Like I said, it's been 5 years. I wasn't openly talking about it before that, because it's still very embarrassing. And you know, like, if I would have gotten pregnant, or if I would have gotten the HIV, like he said, like, I don't feel like I would have healed from it as soon as I did. So, you know, it's probably women who have had those things happen to them, and I feel like those people kind of do deserve to be prosecuted.
Did you, so talk about your healing process.
So for like, I just really just tried to just lean on God. I got to know God better. From this experience, I did a lot of prayer, like just praying that, you know, he just forgave me for that, and that I forgive him also, the person who took the condom off.
How?
Because you said how, right? I know, because I'm like, you can't move forward if you just harbor that hate in your heart. So I was just like, I just want to pray that, you know, when I see him, I don't, you know, have these hateful feelings, because you can't heal if you don't forgive the person. Obviously, that's how I feel.
And so you said a lot of prayer.
A lot of prayer.
Was there, so when I think of prayer and fasting. I mean, was it just prayer? Was it like counseling as well? Was it support from your friends?
Support from my friends. Yep, my friends were very supportive. When I finally was comfortable enough to finally tell them, they were very supportive, and some of them even opened up about their encounters. I was like, wow, so I feel like I'm not the only one who had experienced that. So I think it's very important to just tell someone, because I think I may have not lost as much sleep if I just would have told someone in the beginning about what I was going through, so I can just at least have that ear to listen to me, because although I had God, but I was still very depressed. So,
and I'm thankful that you mentioned that, and that's even, you know, why we do what we do, because I believe there are so many stories that we harbor, that we hold, and that we're ashamed, that we're embarrassed to tell about ourselves, our true selves. But once we get it out, that we realize that there are so many other people who can connect to your stories, and then also provide a healing space. So I definitely appreciate that from you.
And be an ear to them. So I was like, I'm just happy I could turn that pain into purpose at this point and just help others from it. Even though I kind of wished I did stuff differently, but it's okay.
And so what gave you the courage to actually, you know, write about it? Because even when I read it, I said, oh my, like I said, I really said, oh my, like I get it in other sense, like when there are things that I've gone through, and then in a sense I'm not ashamed of it, and I put it out there, or I have conversations with my friends, but obviously it's a little bit more intimate, and you kind of feel like if you judge me, I really don't care about that. But when you put your story on a platform for the world, I feel like you have to be in another space, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So how did you know that you were ready for this? Or were you just like, oh, I'm just gonna do it, enter, go? Like, how was it?
Exactly, like it was weird. For some reason that day, I just feel like God had just like pushed me to just do it. I just felt a push, like a weird push, like write this. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just follow the instructions, because I don't know why, but I'll just put it out there. And then, like right now, I'm just very peaceful, like opinions don't matter. So I was like, I don't know, like people like, you didn't even tell your mom about this before you wrote. I was like, no.
Oh, so your mama was reading this, was like, what, Jamilah?
Exactly. Right, she was like, when she saw the title, she was like, I don't know what it's about, I'll support you, but I don't want to read it. And I was like, okay.
That's a classic mama response. Right. I support you, but
I don't know what's in that article.